What is up, my dude and dudettes, and welcome back to TellerTube. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Cust was cool. A manager tried to fire me. So around 20 years back, I worked in hardware support for a corporation. Desktop and server support, physical network installs, heck, I even did phone system punch-ins. This matters. I am on my way home when I decide to swing by my local electronics and media store for a DVD set that had just come out. It had a cool figurine with it. Unfortunately, my favorite color is blue and I had on a blue blouse. I had on slacks with my tag and keycard flipped into my front pocket, and a wee wallet stuck in there. Went in, grabbed my box set, and I'm heading towards checkout when an older man asks if we have this network cable in longer lengths. His cart is just filled with different lengths of cables. His son and him were setting up an LAN. Told them I didn't work there and then added in that if they wanted to save some bucks, they could make the cables themselves. And went into a spiel about how to do it and what to get. He was super excited. Cool. I feel a tap on my shoulder and I turn around to see some guy with a button up and a manager's tag on. He was smiling and politely asked me to come with him. Said he needed to ask me something, so I went. Got to the area where the bathroom and the water fountains were and the smile dropped. Apparently, he had just started as the assistant manager 2 days before and had been waiting to talk to me. The exact wording is lost to time, but apparently he thought I was someone named Amber who worked there, and since I was late again, as well as advising a customer against a purchase, he was going to have to let me go. Apparently he missed the "I don't work here" part. I explained I didn't work there, and as I was doing this, he interrupted me to ask why I wasn't wearing my tag, which he would need back. And he reached down and grabbed my tag, which is attached to an elastic clip. He pulled, and I dropped the DVD set, crack. And out came my tag, keycard, and wallet. So I cursed loudly because he is standing there holding a tag that clearly does not say Amber and is bleeding all over it. He apparently cut himself when the clip snapped to him, at which point he says something about me scratching him with my nails, of which I didn't have because of work, plus I never touched the guy, and walks through the doors still holding my tag and keycards. I scoop up my wallet and went after him. He snatched a phone off the wall and is calling the police. So I am yelling at this point. Dude, give me my effing tag back. Idiot assistant manager. I was just assaulted. Of course I freak. 911 operator probably thought he was being assaulted by the way I was yelling. Finally, I calm down and just stand there with my arms crossed, refusing to move, with him holding my tag over his head like I am 5 years old. Police shows up and we both tell our stories. The older cop pulls him off to the side, then me. Finally, both the cops, him, and I are all standing there. His story, it seems, is that I was trying to steal the DVDs and had assaulted him when he tried to stop me. The older cop simply asked, "Why are you holding her tag?" The assistant manager looked down at his hand, still bloody, and starts stammering that he took it so I couldn't leave. Manager has now shown up and I tell my story again. He looked like he swallowed a bug. Cop asked about the employee Amber. Sure enough, she was already on the floor. It seems the fact that I knew Amber had a habit of being a few minutes late convinced both the cops and the manager. I did press charges. If he had done that stupid crap and then had just apologized, it would have been one thing. But he was clearly feeling big in the britches, and when he made a mistake, decided to lie. A little bit of "I don't work here, lady," and a little bit of pro-revenge. Sticky fingers and a green thumb. I work in a job that often requires a lot of miscellaneous furniture and decorative items. This means I find myself at IKEA quite regularly with a shopping list the length of my arm. At this point, I know every shortcut where all the trolley and basket stacks are around the shop. There are not nearly enough, and I've got the layout down pretty well. It's far from my favorite place on earth, but it no longer terrifies me like it did the first time I found myself walking the 70-mile showroom. Now my story is a bit like a Russian doll because I've actually had quite a few different encounters, and each time I think I've popped the head off the beast, there's another, smaller, more vaguely annoying encounter lurking inside, just waiting for the next time I find myself at the mercy of the blue and yellow gods. And you can say I'm being dramatic, and I am, but as with any good Russian doll, the tiny woman at the center is always the one to really watch out for. Normally, the extent of the encounters I have is someone asking me where something is in the store, or asking me if I can check the inventory for something. Is that even a thing at IKEA? And honestly, if I can help direct them, I do, before politely telling them I don't actually work here. I get my apologies and my thank yous, and then I wander off to get my next thing on my list. But then there was the thief. On this occasion, I was in the greenhouse picking up plants. I needed around 40 plants in pots ranging from succulents to mini trees, and I had 5 trolleys circled around me by the time I was done. I hadn't really had a plan of the exact plants I needed when I went in, as it's easier to figure out the logistics when I've got the stock in front of me. You also can't order anything from the greenhouse online. So I'm finally done, red-faced and sweating from hauling plants around, and I realized I now have to get me and my 5 trolleys to check out. The way the shop is laid out, this just means getting out of the greenhouse and then dragging my cargo across the warehouse, but it's still a fair distance. I've got the exact stuff I need, and I was paranoid that someone might try and take something, so I did it in little increments. Getting all the trolleys to checkpoints along the way instead of taking one the whole way then coming back for the next one. It turns out it was a smart move, as partway through one of the checkpoints, I turned back to see a woman rooting through one of my trolleys. I quickly sprinted back to her. Oh sorry, those are actually my trolleys. I took the handle of the one nearest to her and smiled. She frowned back at me.
But you left them.
I wasn't abandoning them, I just have too many to move all at once. She didn't respond, she just turned and walked off to another shelf, and after a moment of watching her go, I got back to the job at hand. It was barely 2 minutes later when I caught her at it again. This time, trying to take one of the plants out of the trolley. I ran back again, starting to get annoyed. Hey, excuse me, please could you put that back? She looked a bit startled, but was still frowning at me when she spoke.
Why?
Because it was in my trolley, you can't just take it out.
Well, where are they in the shop then? I can't find them.
She gestures with the plant still in her hand, so I reach out to take it back from her. I sigh internally, as I was pretty sure I got the last couple and had to diversify my own purchase due to low stock. But wanting to be rid of her, I pointed her towards the area I'd found them and tried to hurry up and get to the checkout faster. But I was not fast enough. I was almost there, almost to salvation, when I found the woman back at my cart, trying to pull out one of the plants again. I'd shifted them around a little to make it a bit harder so she hadn't quite freed it when I got there. Hey, I told you can't do that. Put it back.
No, there aren't any left. I need this one.
Well, I'm sorry there aren't any left, but you can't just take one out of my trolley because of that.
This is ridiculous. Why the heck not? Do I honestly have to wait for you to stock the shelves before I could take them? That's insane when I could just take it now and save us both the trouble.
And then suddenly I realized what was happening. Again. Miss, I don't work here. I'm a customer like you. This is stuff I want to buy. I watched her brain compute this revelation. She looked me up and down like she was assessing whether I could be trusted, before obviously deciding she needed to exit the situation. Spluttering something that could have been an apology, she turned and left, walking back to the greenhouse. I finished my relay race and checked out successfully. I didn't see TT again. In a way, I do get where she was coming from. Someone pushing 5 trolleys of foliage probably does look a bit strange amongst the new couples picking out bedside tables, and the families browsing for desk chairs. But then again, I wasn't in uniform. Told her to leave the stuff alone multiple times and was pretty obviously heading away from the greenhouse, where any stalking would have taken place, so she's also kind of a donkey. I'm not looking forward to my next trip to IKEA. I'm in a hotel and people are asking me questions and I don't know why, and oh. In fairness, I was probably the stupid one for not realizing what was going on. For a few years after college, I lived in another city and got to know the neighborhood pretty well, as one typically does. I moved out, and not a year later, one of my best friends is engaged and about to get married near my old apartment. It's a black tie affair, and I end up staying at the hotel where the reception was at, the ceremony being at the synagogue his wife grew up in. The bridal party arranged transportation from the hotel to the synagogue and back. We just had to meet in the lobby by 2 p.m. or whatever. I got downstairs very early for no good reason and was in the lobby bored. I had only been dating my girlfriend at the time for a few months and my invite didn't come with a +1, so I give her a call. I put a headset in one ear because I wanted to leave the other open in case they announced that our bus was here, and stood behind some podium-like thing in the lobby. For the next 30 minutes, people kept coming up to me asking all sorts of random questions, like,
how do we get to this museum?
Or,
what's a good place to get pizza around here?
I know the neighborhood well and I have nothing to do anyway, and I'm a helpful guy. So I'm answering questions, thinking nothing of it. Finally, after a good 10 to 15 of these, someone asks me if housekeeping can come up to their room later because some reason or another. I just say, sorry, I don't work here. And that's when it hits me. I'm wearing a tux. I have an earpiece in one ear. I'm literally standing behind a podium. I'm answering questions about the neighborhood and I have no obvious other reason to be in the lobby. They think I'm the concierge. Oops. Oh my god, that's funny. Please get out of my car. This happened a little while ago. I was outside a bar waiting for my boyfriend to pick me up, driving my car, and I see this girl stumbling out of the bar heading towards the road. At the same time, I see my car pull up and head towards it, but quickly stop as this girl opens the passenger door of my car and gets in. Now, my poor boyfriend is so confused and is just staring at me through the windscreen, being like, what the heck do I do? And he tells her this is not her Uber and that he's picking up his girlfriend. The chick is adamant, however, saying this is definitely her Uber because, you know, she ordered one and this had to be it. By this point, I'm standing at the passenger side door telling her she's in the wrong car. But she's now refusing to get out and telling my boyfriend to take her home. People are starting to come out of the bar and are watching the scene unfold. I'm at my wit's end because she's making a scene and telling me to go get your own Uber. And my boyfriend is yelling at her to get out. Finally, her actual Uber rocks up. She gets the notification and awkwardly stumbles out of my car. No apology or anything, and they drive away. To this day, I still find this so bizarre and hilarious. Ma'am, this is actually my car. Can you please get out? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button as it would really help me out. Subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.